I know I've been kind of inconsistent with reviewing the season, but sometimes the episode wasn't episoding. I don't really feel like talking about it. But if it's a good episode, yeah. And this week's episode was good. And it's funny because I was really anticipating it because of the preview that we saw about Chris exploding on somebody and, like cursing somebody out. And I had a really strong feeling that it was probably going to be Jessica or Janelle. It turned out to be Jessica. And honestly, I feel like knowing that in the preview we didn't hear any like talking back, it was probably going to be Jessica because we know good and well that Janelle, she has a really hard time holding her tongue. But anyway, starting with the episode, they left us on that annoying cliffhanger. We knew it was going to be Sierra. I really do think it should have been a double elimination because we had one for the men a few weeks ago, and I feel like to even things out, it should have been that way for the women. So honestly, I feel like it should have been Katarina and Sierra to go home, but whatever. It was just Sierra. And this whole episode was about Chris, Jessica, and Marie. And so the first half has a big focus on Marie with sprinkles of Chris and Jessica. And then the last half is about Jessica and Chris. But when they're done, they were like, to me, they were being so annoyingly combative. Like, Marie was so extra. Like, he really does get on my nerves. I cannot stand him and his Rico Suave getting out of, his tough situations because I just don't feel bad for him. And everyone's like, oh, poor Marie. And the only time I'll agree with Janelle that no, we shouldn't be asking about how Marie's doing. Who cares how he's doing? Let's be real. Who cares how he is doing? Because he didn't have to go home, or he wasn't about to go home that episode in front of everybody. Like, it's one thing to, go home, on a regular eliminate, but it's another thing to have to go home in front of, the whole crew. This was not the first time they had done that, but so anyway, and so, everyone's like, no, let's ask about how Jessica. And the main thing is that they were really, and when I say they, I mean Janelle and Jessica were really mad about the word combative used against Jessica. And, they bring up the whole being a black woman. And I gotta be honest, I really feel like that's an excuse to not allow certain words to be used because I feel like maybe different words should be used okay, my thing is a word if it's appropriate, as far as if a duck's a duck, then you call it a duck. You don't call it a bird who can swim, you call it a duck. And when you're combative, I think of a combative person as someone who is most likely prone to potential violence. They're not afraid to get bucked. They get loud. They're very they move a lot, if you can say, like they're snapping their fingers, clapping their hands, maybe pounding, they're about to go into combat. They're about to fight. And to me, saying that if a woman is combative, if she's displaying those behaviors, then yeah, call her combative. It doesn't matter what race she is, or even if it was a man, that's being combative. Like, I don't understand why people try to act like you can't call black people combative if they're using it with the behavior and it matches it, or being aggressive. If you're showing aggressive behavior, then you're being aggressive. I don't know. It's just one of those, it is what it is, but I don't like when people try to throw the race into when a certain word shouldn't be used like that, but whatever. But my thing is, so they were trying to argue that, but it's kind of funny how they're upset about the word being used, but not necessarily upset of well, why was it used? Like, I don't like that you used the word, but why did you say it? Like, what makes you think that she is combative or that I am combative, coming from Jessica? But because to be honest, the person who that term perfectly goes for is Janelle. Because Janelle has shown that she is going to fight. She's very animated with her movements. She's, she'll go there. I believe it. But anyway, because, okay, for me personally, I don't think Jessica is combative, but I do think she's off-putting. I've not felt a warm, loving, genuine vibe from her since the beginning of the season, and I don't think she's open. I don't think she likes to be told to change. She gives me the vibe of she has been hurt before and now she's colder. And she may be a good girlfriend in some ways, but as far as like being a partner, I don't really see it. As far as it being someone that you would really want to come and talk to like that. So, but here's the thing with Jessica, she's got that face as far as she has like a resting bee face. And when she doesn't like something, she just turns her whole face up. Like, I don't know if y'all have noticed that her lips, when she doesn't like something, she scrunches it up and it almost touches her cheek. And that is an off-putting look. Like, okay, she ain't gotta like it like that. So, and I think she probably is a little bit argumentative, as she has shown a little bit, but honestly, I would have worded it more so as you have a demeanor that is sometimes off-putting because it feels like there's not a lot of warmth with you. I don't know about, saying combative. Like I said, that goes for Janelle. But anyway, so while all of this is going on, Chris is over here trying to buy his affection with the women. I just really hate that this season really feels like people are reaching anywhere and how to make it to the end. Because it's not just Chris. We see it big time with Katarina. We see it a bit with Marie. And it just doesn't feel genuine. And I feel like with Chris, like, he naturally does have a nice smile. And he probably just is a cheesing guy. I got a big smile too. I do it too. But I'm just like, why did you buy her? I really felt like him buying her them slides was to get Lee on his side for votes. And I think him trying to take out Aries was he took her out to go archery, and then he put her hand on his chest. He was just trying to vie up his spots. And I feel like it came big time because he was realizing that it was spiraling what he said in the men's lounge about her. But listen, I'm with Aries. Yes, maybe Marie didn't feel that, but he still said it. Like, if you're going to be the messenger, you don't have to, I don't know. I feel like with this thing, it's very much like you, especially knowing that he was doing it in front of everyone. He could have chosen different words, or he could have just used that word that could have been said to her in private, So, whether it was his feelings or not, it was definitely him saying it, and he didn't have to say it. It's not like he was reading a script, and if he didn't follow the script, he would get in trouble. No, he chose to say those words just as is. So, just is what it is. So I don't feel anything for Mari. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel sympathy for him. I don't hope he makes it through. I don't care about Marie and him feeling unsure of himself. And then Katarina over here checking on him. And I mean, listen, what Katarina said, I agree. If they're saying a word about you because of how you are, then that is how you are. And that's just your description. I've been told things about myself that I don't like, but if my actions are matching it, then that is how I am. It doesn't matter if I like it or not, then that means I need to change if I don't like it or don't want to accept that that is how I'm behaving, if what my actions or words are showing is displaying such thing. But we also know that where there's Janelle, there is Jessica, and they've been like tag teaming with each other in the ladies' lounge. So it's probably very much that feeling of you are the company you keep. You may not act all crazy like Janelle does, but it feels like you may not be that far off because you guys are friends. Because a lot of time, friends, this is why we're friends with people, is we have something in common, that we have this shared thing with each other, and that's why we're, friends like we are. Anyway, after they left the retreat, there was a couple of dates with everyone. And then we get to the ladies' lounge, and I was like, ooh, it's spicy in here. After they talked about how their time went, who they were feeling and not feeling, what's her name? Jessica made a shade about Lee receiving gifts and how, that wasn't her experience. And they basically were arguing over the fact that Jessica thinks that Chris is acting one way with her versus with the other ladies, and that he's basically playing face in front of her, but then he talks like kind of behind her back, or he tries to act like he's not that guy, but he is. And I agree with Lee, where she was like, if he had a bad experience with you, he had a bad experience with you. But that doesn't take away from my experience with him, because I'm not you, you're not me. Like, we are not expected to have a great time with each person on this journey. That's why they give us 10 options. So you are still a great person, but that's your bad experience. That's not my bad experience. He doesn't treat me like he treats you, girl. Ain't you? I ain't got a problem. You got a problem, or whatever. Um, so when they do the elimination, it's Chris and Jessica and Marie and Aries, and Marie made a jab at Aries about her wearing a black dress and talking about, oh, are we at a funeral? I was like, boy, if you don't shut up in your casual going to the grocery store dressing attire, like all the dates that you have gone on wearing sneakers and ill-fitting overalls, like you are the last person to try and talk about the way somebody dresses. Like, boy, please. Anyway, so with Chris and Jessica, I mean, he clearly knew that he was up for elimination, because why else would he be meeting Jessica? And so she told him, she expressed that she didn't like combative being used against her, and he kept trying to deny it, but then he told on himself, because when she said he wasn't ready to love, then he was like, I didn't call you combative, but you know what? You are combative, and you're a mean girl. You and Janelle. I'm like, you've been talking to Lee, haven't you? Because how would you know that? Because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, yes, he did have that. Everyone saw her, her and Katarina have their little tits with each other. But how did you know that? And, because I'll be honest, mean girl is not something a man would say. That's something a woman would say. So that is him repeating what another woman has told him and using that to her. But anyway, and I mean, Jessica kept her calm. We know that Janelle wouldn't have. So, I mean, good for Jessica keeping calm, because Chris was going crazy. Chris had crazy eyes. He was so mad at her. I swear his African roots were showing, because he was like, you need to show me the same respect, because I'm a man. I'm a man. You need to show me respect when I'm not in the room. And what else did he say? He was like, he's trying to respect her, but she doesn't show respect to him. And then she was like, you sure? And she was like, well, when have I not shown you respect or something? That's when he was like, you don't know ish about me, F you, and F everything about you. I promise you, Chris looked like he was either going to throw his drink at the wall, throw it at her, or smash the wine glass in his hand. Like I felt like that glass was going somewhere. But you know what? He was on camera. Obviously, they know they're on camera, and I really do feel like that glass would have gone somewhere. It would not have been in the same state it was given to him if their cameras were not there, because you could see it in his eyes, the way he was kind of clenching and not clenching the glass, that he was really fighting. He was really holding back because he really wanted to do something with that glass. And then he walked away. And then in his confessional, he called her evil. And I'm, my thing is, I'm just wondering if he's going to come to the reunion, because we have seen this before where someone had like an explosive ending and they didn't come back for the reunion. You know, we saw this with Shiloh, where she tried to accuse Phil of basically being really like physically aggressive with her, grabbing on her. And in reality, he didn't. What he did do was he grabbed her because she was walking in the street and she was going to get hit at 3 a.m. So he really just kind of pulled her back onto the sidewalk so she wouldn't get hit. He ain't grab up on you like like he was about to punch you or something. But, I'm pretty sure behind the scenes she got called out on it or whatever, but she didn't come to the reunion. I think it was last season in Miami. I don't remember what his name was, but he was really rude to, I think her name was Cherie or Sheree, something like that. And there was some explosive thing that happened at the reunion, and instead of continuing to try and address it, he left. I think it was Lonzo. So I would not be surprised if Chris doesn't come back. But given what I've seen currently online, there's a lot of mixed reviews going on. And when I say reviews, I mean feelings towards, are you on Janelle's side or are you on Chris' side? Like, should Chris have done that or should Janelle have been this or that? And a lot of people are still, if I had to say, I feel like people are still getting on Jessica, basically, saying that, no, she is a mean girl. She is combative. I mean, I don't really see people praising Chris for what he did, but at the same time, it's mixed. Like, Chris is not getting attacked for what he did at the end of the day. Yes, this just happened, hasn't even been a full day, but he ain't about to lose himself like that. But I hope he does come to the reunion, because it's always really curious, interesting to see how things shake out after something like that. I mean, even David from the Houston season wasn't this bad. He wanted to be, but I guess his Christian self, stopped him. But anyway, yeah, that was an episode. That was an episode. Yeah, that's it.